start climbing, show up and win. Never stop striving, it's gonna be worth it, wait and see. Building your legacy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Brick by Bricks podcast, where we talk about building others up through competitive collaboration and changing the real estate industry one agent at a time. I'm your co-host, Dylan Dansby, alongside Brooke Massey and Curtis Haddock. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Pinch poke, you owe me a Coke.
Is that like Jinx?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You remember that as a kid?
I never knew pinch poke owe me a Coke. I just did Jinx.
Seriously?
Yes, yeah.
It's like the same.
And then like permanent Jinx and like,
Yeah, you have to go, pinch poke, you owe me a Coke, and you go run away.
Hey, but did you ever get your Coke if you did it? Like, did anybody ever
Heck
give you a
yeah,
Coke?
I did.
I don't think I ever got
I did
my
it.
Coke.
We got like a milk carton or something. But anyways,
if someone pinched me and then poked me, I would not get them a Coke.
probably I wouldn't pinch and poke you.
Why?
You're
Poke the bear.
scary. Yeah.
That's the
Anyways.
advantage of being big. I did tell you guys my story from college, right?
What story?
Possibly.
The audience doesn't know. I'm gonna share with the audience.
Do it.
So in college, this was when I was a freshman, and one of my high school buddies came up to visit because I was at the University of Colorado Boulder, which is a huge party school, and
Love Boulder.
he went to Colorado School of Mines because he got a scholarship to play football, and he was great at math, so he was going to be an engineer.
School of Mines? That's a fancy. Okay.
It's actually like a top tier engineering school that people go there for engineering. It's like the Harvard of engineering. It really
okay.
is. So to get a full ride there to play football was incredible that he got it. Well, actually, I don't know if it was a full ride. I think it was like a half ride. Either way, that's not important to the story. So he is about my size. Okay. In fact, at the time, he was actually bigger than I was. I was more like a toothpick, but still. Well, my freshman year of college, I was a little bit bigger. But one night, it was a weekend. We decided we wanted to go find a house party or something, just because we weren't old enough to buy any alcohol. And when you're a college student on the weekends, you just want to drink and find alcohol and party. And so he came up, and it got to be like 11:30, 12 o'clock, and we decided to start walking around campus, like where all the sororities and fraternities are, and try to find some kind of house party. And of course, we walked by, and I think it had to have been a frat house. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a huge party going on. People are outside drinking, like just being crazy. There's people all up inside. And so we thought, okay, well, let's go in. We can blend in. But when you go to when you go to a party and then someone shows up, like most of the people that are at your party.
Oh,
yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah, no, you definitely
Yeah.
know
Well,
when the person's not there. You're like, who's that guy?
Big parties
Yes.
like that, they'd be like,
Right. I mean, and even if a stranger or somebody you didn't know was there, you would see that they show up with somebody that you know.
A
Yeah.
mutual
And then
friend.
you know them for the rest of the night, who they are and things like that.
you're just some stranger.
So we were just two freshman kids just walking into this frat house. We were walking past the front lawn where they're playing some games, they had a beer bong and things like that. And we just heard one of the guys kind of slightly whisper, hey, who are those guys? Do you guys know who they are? And his buddy goes, no, I have no idea, but they're big, so don't say anything. And we heard them say that. And so we were like, yeah, we just kept walking, went inside. They had a keg. And so we got ourselves a couple beers. And they had, I don't know what else did they have? I don't know, but we grabbed some stuff and we just took it and walked out with it and just kept on going.
Oh my gosh.
Because we were like, we could tell that they didn't know who we are, that we weren't wanted. We just wanted our alcohol, and then we wanted to be gone. And that's what we did.
Man.
You guys stole their alcohol.
That was really when I learned that people aren't gonna mess with me too often,
Right.
just because of my size.
Right.
So
Fair. Man. Good random story.
yeah.
was
Okay.
good.
So today, who was driving in thinking of something?
I sure as heck was.
Oh, nice. What were you thinking about, Brooke?
How I did not do my routine this morning, and
No.
how I can't let it have a negative mindset on my day. And so I
Does
was
it
just
normally?
thinking about it. I can let it, I can let it.
So what part of your routine did you miss or
All of
not
it.
do right? All of it. No, that really can mess you up.
So walk
Yep.
us through, Brooke. What does a regular routine look like for
Well,
you
so
in the
hold
morning?
on. Let's tell everybody what we're talking about.
Yep.
Today is the mindset of a routine and how important it is to have one. And we're going to go through the positives and negative impacts of routine. And it might not be exactly what everyone's thinking. So,
Because routines can be a long, elaborate routine or just tiny little things that you do throughout the day.
yeah, and they can have so many different various impacts depending on what the routine is. But so mindset of a routine, Brooke, we're going to talk first about the negative impact that a routine can have on your business, on your life, and things like that. And so this morning, how did that take place? And how do you think it's going to impact the rest of your day if you let it?
Well, I'm going to have the positive mindset so I don't let it affect the rest of my day. But I'll tell you one thing that's going to affect it is I did not eat breakfast. So I am hungry.
And that's part of your routine?
Yeah.
Always eat breakfast?
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. 100%. But
Hey, but you know, there are actually studies that people are more productive by fasting in the morning. They get more focused when they
What
eat
they-
breakfast.
I was
they're
not
more
part of that
sluggish.
case
I don't
study.
believe that.
Well, there's
don't believe it.
studies. There's
I know-
that's
I
what
know.
well,
that's
I was not
behind
part
it.
of that case study.
But I
'cause
mean,
would have
there's-
made it.
I mean, it's not
There's-
going to work for everyone.
I know. I was going to say there are also studies of how breakfast can boost your metabolism and start your energy
Yeah.
and everything. You know,
It might be by like proportions how much you're eating in your breakfast. If you're eating a big breakfast, I could see how that could definitely make you more tired and sluggish.
one thing I've learned in my life. This has nothing to do with the mindset of a routine, but all the different fads and studies that come out. Like, for instance, I got a 3-month-old at home, and you're not supposed to let them sleep on their stomach. But back in the day, you weren't supposed to let them sleep on their back because if they spit up or throw up, they could choke on it and things like that.
That makes sense.
And but now it's like there's new science, and I mean, to me, everything comes and goes, and it's all about like, I don't know what's going on in society. When it comes to like health, and especially, I'm a big time believer in eat healthy, eat in good proportions,
Yeah.
move your body, exercise, and drink water,
Yes.
and I think you'll be all right.
Yes.
You know,
But it's so hard to do.
I know, right? So simple,
Well-
but yet so hard.
Yes.
Okay, so you didn't have breakfast today.
Yeah, sorry. So your breakfast got skipped.
I mean, a lot more, but I mean, just talking about the negative things about a routine. I'm thinking about we all kind of just came out of it, like COVID, right?
Yeah.
Like the bad routines and stuff that we've all kind of naturally fell in and stuff like that, and having to come out of it because routines are something that can literally just, how am I trying to say this? They just like you.
They stick with you. They're
Yeah,
habits.
you can tell that you can't tell when they happen sometimes. Sometimes they just form, like the COVID thing. Like a lot of people became like introverts and wanting to stay in and not want to go out and talk to people and stuff like that. And they just naturally kind of fell into that routine, even after everything opened back up and stuff like that. So that can be like a negative.
That was going to be like what I think of as like how routines can negatively impact you is whenever you develop like a negative, like a bad habit or a bad routine without realizing it.
Yeah.
And that happens to everybody. And I think the important thing is to recognize as quickly as possible when you have fallen into a bad routine.
Yeah.
And I think that it happens with, it's definitely, what we already talked about, health and exercise and eating right, and things like that.
You have a new job and all you do is drive around. So
Right, yeah.
McDonald's is the go-to.
Did that happen to you? Because that happened to
I
me.
mean, yes.
Yeah. You got to drive a lot in your last job, right?
Oh,
yeah.
I literally left from home, and then every day I drove either to Weatherford or Texas or Henrietta or Norman or.
I had a summer internship where I sold drill bits for a living, and so I had to drive to all the different
He's got a new.
I know,
job
like,
every
dang.
time.
summer internship during college. This is like,
Like, you
How
have
many
like
jobs
the most
have you
jobs
done?
ever.
I mean, it's a new one every episode.
I mean, April will tell you that, in our marriage, I have stressed her out when it comes to jobs.
Trying to change and do better for
But
your
what,
life.
but I tell her, like, just go look
feel
at our
that.
tax return from year to year,
Yeah.
and I think through it all.
It gets better. That's funny though. So you sold drill bits.
I just go for it, and then if
Hey.
it doesn't work, I say, whoops, that was not right.
Hey, but
So
that's
I
what
go
you're
back.
supposed to do, because a lot of people, they'll get all the information and they'll study and get all the knowledge and then don't do anything.
Paralysis analysis.
Exactly.
I
Fair.
get that sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, dude.
But yeah, I mean, I back to that job. I mean, I was in the car all the time, and so I just ate gas station food all the time. But I was younger, and I was exercising and running all the time, and so I was able to. But that negative impact, like I used to run 30 miles a week, sometimes more. I would lift weights. I told you guys I was basically like, if you go back like pictures from 15 years ago, I was this toothpick, tall, skinny person. And it's because I had a great routine of exercise, right? But because I was burning so many calories, I felt like I could eat everything I wanted to and anything I wanted to.
So that created a bad
So
habit.
it created a horrible habit. And then when my health took a turn at like something that was outside of my control, which was all the autoimmune stuff that came my way, running, which was always my go-to. Like I got the runner's high. Like I loved running.
Which
and I
is
think
weird.
I miss it. I mean,
I think everyone realizes exactly the kind of person you are
yeah,
now.
well,
Just kidding.
I used to think that I was like, how do people ever get into a habit of running to where they actually enjoy it? And it's not until you experience like what a runner's high feels like, to where it's like my day would not be good if I didn't get up and do my morning 3-mile run. It just would suck. And so I always got up and did it. And but then it got to a point with the autoimmune stuff to where it hurt to do it. And so the pain from it made it to where I had to I stopped. And so then I didn't get into any other form of exercise, partly because I was figuring out what was the cause of that issue. But my eating didn't change, the eating habit. And I'm already this big person that I feel like I'm like, man, I have to eat more than the regular person, but then I eat more than what someone my size should eat anyways.
You always eat my
Because-
leftovers, so
and
they never go to waste.
Well, I always eat. I mean, it used to be like I used to like have some kind of identity in eating people's leftovers at restaurants, like being the
gosh.
guy that like would finish everyone's plate because like I'm like the human garbage disposal, right? Well, that came back to bite me in the butt when I wasn't moving as much, and so now I'm in the process of trying to change that, and so that's how habits over years and years, not even realizing it, can have a negative impact on your future. And so I think it's important to kind of be future thinking, just like we are in our business with the habits that we have. How is that going to impact our lives?
Well, yeah, and I love that. And I challenge everyone listening to this, even if you think you have bad habits or not, I challenge you to kind of look at your day. Like from when you wake up in the morning, what do you do when you wake up? Do you grab your phone? Do you look at social media and start your day? I mean, that can be a negative impact. Or turning on the news. That was something I loved. I used to love watching the news, and then it just started becoming more and more and more negative, and it had a negative impact on my day. But look at your routine that you do throughout your entire day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you literally lay back down in bed, and see if you can find anything that maybe you don't like.
Yeah.
Or that you do that you
change.
can get away with now, but in the future you won't. Like what about people who have really, really high metabolisms and great metabolisms,
And you're like 22 years old.
right, and you can eat even if you're in your 30s and you're still able to just have a great metabolism and you're eating bad and things like that. It's really hard to change a habit that's not affecting you now.
Oh,
So like when you get older and your health is so important, and that's like I cannot stress that enough. Like when I was so sick, I was like, you could give me, you could make me the richest man in the world monetarily,
yeah.
but I would still be depressed and sad because I didn't have my health.
No, and I tell Brittany, my wife, that I'm like, listen, I get so mad, and I'm like, we have to work out. There's no secret sauce. There's no, I can go make millions of dollars and well, sure, I can make millions of dollars and have a bunch of plastic surgery, but then you look fake, right?
Right, yeah.
But you still wouldn't be healthy. There's no secret sauce to doing it. Like, as we get older, we have to work out. It's just one of those things we have to just accept in our minds.
Yeah.
Were you about to say something?
Basically, just on the metabolism part, and even though you may have a really fast metabolism and you don't easily put on weight like most people do, but it's the internal part of your body organs and stuff that you're really hurting. And I firsthand experienced that, so I do have a fast
Which is
metabolism.
long term, you know?
And it is. And I got gallstones. I thought, man, I was that person. I can eat anything. I don't put any weight on, right? Well, I didn't realize how bad it was actually hurting my insides.
Yeah.
And so one of the terrible routines that I used to have was with energy drinks. God, man. I felt like I had to get one every morning right before I started my first job when I used to work at AT&T. And I think a big part of the energy drinks is what gave me gallstones. And to this day, I mean, it'll be very rarely I'll have an energy drink now, but just going through that, it was a terrible, terrible habit I picked up, and it really affected my health. And you just don't want to do that.
You just go through one bad thing with health, and you'll learn pretty quickly.
It'll change very quickly, especially when it really is hurting you.
I'm a big believer, and you guys have heard me say I'm a big believer in balance and in all things in moderation. I mean, there's something to the yin and yang, and like the And even when it comes to like eating bad, right? I don't think that you can't have an energy drink, but you maybe have to limit it to one a week.
Yeah,
Right.
don't be drinking 2 a day
Right.
for 3 years.
It's all in moderation, because if you're drinking a ton of water and then you splurge on an energy drink on on a weekend,
Right.
I think you're going to be fine.
Right.
You know, and I'll talk to your doctor first, right? Everyone out there who's thinking that that's what they're going to do, but I'm just a big believer in there's a balance to everything, and I have really yet to have somebody bring up a topic of conversation to where I don't think that you can find a middle ground or a balance to it.
I agree.
Even with politics, with anything, like, you got to be open to a balance, and that's where you create harmony and peace. And so
You have to have bad with the good, and you have to have good with the bad.
100%.
It's just part of life.
100%. Yep.
It's just like someone always says, or other people always tell me all the time, like, I wish I could feel this way all the time, like super happy and excited. I'm like, but if you could do that and you were never sad or mad or anything like that, then you wouldn't appreciate how you feel right now.
Right.
So there is just the balance. But maybe just kind of shift into like our next bullet point a little bit here. I did a one-on-one yesterday with an agent of mine, and has a full-time job, and just kind of getting a little bit frustrated and stuff like that with kind of like his progress. And so we started talking about some things.
This is someone who has a ton of potential, if I'm thinking. Okay.
And so we just started talking, asking some questions and stuff like that. And where he's like really thinking where he can shift from full-time job to going full-time into this. And that's something that I did too as well. But something that we really talked about is like, what kind of habits and routines are you creating for yourself in order to get to the next level? So
it's huge, and consistency with it. When I was part-time,
if you want to grow, you have to
make changes to what you're doing on your everyday life. And a lot of people think what is the biggest crutch to forming a good routine? It's tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow.
Oh, or I'll start Monday.
I'll start Monday.
The
Like, I got it next
procrastination.
week. Or, just any kind of thinking where it's later is such a bad habit.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's never later.
Well,
Because even when later comes, you're going to have the same attitude. You're going to be like, man, I don't want to do it. Okay, I know I said I would do it today, but really I got this and this going on. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow.
And at that point, it's an excuse.
Yes.
And I mean, we had an episode on excuses, but like if you say, "Oh, And a lot of people, they lean on this, and this is going to sound really bad, but we'll elaborate. But like, they're like, oh, I gotta feed my kids. I gotta take them to school. I gotta do this for my significant other. I gotta clean the house or take out the trash or mow the yard and stuff like that. Like, that's stuff that we all have to do every single day.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that's an excuse. It's just up to you if you want to.
We had another episode on priorities.
Mm-hmm.
So you take priorities and excuses and combine it with routine. You've got to prioritize it. Because if you are putting these other things that are happening ahead of what you are wanting to do to make your life better, then you're not you're prioritizing the other bad habits or the other things in your life, you know? And so, I mean, having a job is not a bad thing, but a lot of people, when they're part-time, that priority is ahead of real estate. So when I hear people like, you know, we have an opportunity for something in real estate to get some business, but their job gets in the way.
Yep.
Well, then that tells me that your job is before real estate, and then that means you don't really want to do real estate ahead of that job. Now, I get that there are some circumstances where, you know, you have a boss, you have a superior, and it might be tough to get away every single time. But the people who put real estate first, they're going to find a way to make it happen.
You make the time happen.
Yes.
You sit down, you look at your schedule, and you get on your calendar, and you have to dedicate a specific time to your real estate. And I think the biggest thing that comes to being able to stay with your good routines and to stay on track of it and being consistent with it is you have to learn how to say no. That's the biggest part for me is when it comes to me getting off track on my good
Say no to the bad habits, not say no to the ones you're wanting to do.
Right. Saying no to the bad ones. Like, for instance, a routine that I've kind of been struggling is just my sleep routine. I do not go to bed at the same time.
Important.
It's always different every night.
That's my biggest one. It's probably sleep.
It's the biggest one for me, and I struggle with it. But sometimes it's at my own fault because I'm not telling no to certain people. I can go out with you one time.
Yeah.
Whatever it could be. But that really can affect your routine is just having to tell people no. No, I'm not going to do this. No, I'm not going to eat that.
Well, and I will say too, and this is like one of I say this all the time, but literally it's one of my top favorite books, but Atomic Habits. If you guys have not read or listened to Atomic Habits, they literally break down what a habit is and routines basically in like the most simplified way. And you wouldn't believe like what a habit like just really is, honestly, and how you can create habits and how you can break bad habits as well.
Pretty quickly too. I would
no,
think,
absolutely. Like something that really stuck with me was two things. On if you want to break a bad habit, you need to make it hard. If you want to create a good habit, you make it easy. So what I mean by that is, and the example that it used in the book is like you're at work and say you work in an office setting in a cubicle and there's a file cabinet that's directly behind you and it's the snack drawer, the office snack drawer. They fill it up with all kinds of goodies. Well, it's so easy to just turn around in your little rolly chair and go to the file cabinet, open it up, grab something and roll right back. Right. So that, if you're making it easy like that, you just created a habit or a routine. After you have a meeting, now you go get a snack and then you come back. And that's a negative impact on your day. But if you want to break that habit, and it sounds so silly, but it literally works. But they said, make it hard. Maybe move the file cabinet away. Maybe just put something behind your rolly chair or freaking turn your little rolly wheels off or something. So that way you can't just easily just turn around. And if you're in the middle of work, it's crazy how something like that just irritates you.
Yeah, I mean, ask your job to,
or you don't even want to do it.
To lock it and leave a key further away. So if somebody wants it, they have to go get the key to come unlock it to get the snacks or something. I mean, there's options like ask if you can move your cubicle. right?
Yep.
To a further spot, you know.
I
I think that's good. Make it difficult. I mean, how could you make sleeping habits difficult, or I guess easy to you know? I guess I don't know. We got to think through
That's
that
all.
one.
That was
That's
like
my
maybe not a
biggest
podcast talk, but
yeah.
I'll tell you this. So I really took that book, Atomic Habits, to heart, and I talk about reading all the time. But if you knew me 3 years ago, I hated reading. Hated it. Hate is a strong word, and that's how much I disliked it. So I never read in high school. I always cheated on all my book report tests. I would read Spark Notes and literally sit in front of my teacher and literally recite a book and just BS it.
Spark Notes made it easy for you to hate reading.
It did, right? Or I was like, I'm going to do a book report on Harry Potter.
And Blinkist is making it easy to not have to read everything.
That's
you
true,
know?
but that's cool. But anyways, then I started with like audiobooks and stuff when I was driving, but I still couldn't like physically read a book because for me, it's just hard to read. Like I'll read it and then I'm a slow reader and whatever else, but I still knew how beneficial reading is to my brain, my mindset, and just so many other things. And so I actually read Atomic Habits. It took me a very long time to read it, but after I did, my reading just like increased because I made it easy. So many people say they want to read or whatever, but they keep their books on their bookshelf and they look up there every day and they're like, oh, I need to read. They don't do anything about it. So I just made it easy. So I took the book I wanted to read and I started putting it by my coffee pot. So every single morning I would read, or I would make my coffee. My book is right there. So it was very easy to grab my coffee and grab my book, go sit down and read. Now I keep it on my couch. So you come over to my house, I always have a book on my couch. So just different things like that.
Now, if we were going to tie this back to our industry, and I know that anybody can apply this to anything that they're doing, but for those of you that are in our industry that are watching, and actually it doesn't have to be our industry, but if you're in sales, one of the biggest routines especially when you're starting out, you have to prioritize prospecting. And we say it all the time and people don't believe us. And if somebody tells you that you don't have to prospect in this business, especially starting out, then they don't have your best interest at heart.
No.
They're probably trying to either make money off of you through some kind of fee structure, or they're trying to sell you a program that they do, right? And so the only people that I see that tell others not to prospect are the people online that are trying to sell some sort of advertising system, some sort of funnel that they bring you in and they lure you in through the idea of this is going to be easy. You don't have to door knock. You don't have to make phone calls. You don't have to do open houses. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Well, that's not true.
No.
It's not true at all. Now, whatever they're selling, it may work if you apply what they're teaching you and you spend the money, but a lot of people don't have the thousands and thousands of dollars it takes to make those types of programs work. If you're going to do this business without prospecting through the traditional means, well, you better have a lot of cash flow already to pay for advertising for leads. And part of what we teach is,
but even then you're still gonna have to work.
You're still gonna have to do some kind of prospecting and follow-up.
Absolutely.
And if you're into that and you want to do that, okay, great. But why don't you learn the ways to get the business first and then go get more business through the money you're making already in the industry, right? So, I mean,
100%.
Prospecting is huge. And that's why we start with just an hour a day. If you prospect for 1 hour a day, you really should do it for 2 to 3 hours a day. But if you can start with 1 hour a day and Monday through Friday, or sometime, or 5 hours a week, however you split it up, your life will change. And I promise you it'll change.
Even if you did it for 30 minutes, right?
Just start a habit. Just start some kind of habit.
Make it easy, right? Do it for 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah. See if you can get an appointment.
So, because an hour may seem long for people, like, just start for 10 minutes. Just sit down in front of your computer and pull up if you're going to call FSBOs, pull up Zillow or something and sit there and just make that a habit where if you have a full-time job, every day you get off work, that's what you do.
Don't go home until you do 30 minutes of prospecting.
Yes. Or
Right?
just
Set
looking
an appointment
around.
on your lunch break. Man, that sucks to skip your lunch break to go to an appointment. But if you want to get out of your grind of the day-to-day working for the man, you're going to have to make a change to get out of it, you know? So
It's just a hump. It's a hard hump that people have to get over. But once you get over that hump, I was trying to find this meme that Jay Shetty, I think that's how you say his name. Everyone follows him quite a bit, and he's a big author and stuff. But he posted this meme once.
well, is he gonna be a sponsor on the show?
Maybe.
That's free.
That'd be cool.
That's a free shout out there. You're welcome, Jay.
Well, I don't know. We've done a lot of free shout outs.
I know.
We definitely
Okay,
have.
sorry.
But
Go ahead.
he made this meme, and I can't quote it word for word. I was trying to find it, but basically it was like consistency leads to habits. Habits lead to routines. Routines lead to like life change. Basically, there's like another step, but I just love it. Like simplified it, discipline. Discipline leads to habits. Habits lead to consistency. Consistency leads to like success, basically. Because we didn't talk about that. Like creating the habit and the routines is one part of it, right? But you have to be disciplined and you have to have the right mindset because you can't let life get in your way and whatever else. You have to just do it. at the end
So
of the day.
everybody who's sitting there and listening to this, think about, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want out of this life? And guess what? It's as simple as just making a choice to make it happen. Right? It doesn't happen overnight, and you need to be prepared for the grind, right? Work hard. People always say work smarter, not harder. I say do both.
Yep.
Because and create routines and habits and be consistent with it. And whatever it is that you want out of life, you can have it, and if you just go get it. And that's what I love about our country, is that you really can just make a choice and do it. The problem is that it's so much easier to dream about it and not do anything, and then get mad at the people who are making it happen. And we're just sitting back and like, well, you should give to me, because even though I didn't go out and do it, you should just give to me, Right. And that's the mindset that a lot of people have. And I just wish that it could be different.
In the mindset of routines, and it's just like with anything, working out or prospecting or whatever else, like just kind of get started. And that was kind of the point, getting the discipline going. But once you create the routine and you've done it for a consistent amount of time, and there's no do it for 90 days or 120 days and it's part of your life. That's something that book talked about. There's no magic number. You just have to accept that this is the way of life. But once you have created it and you just keep doing it every single day, you don't think about the routines anymore. So like when I wake up in the morning, I go get a glass of water, I take my vitamins, I start coffee, I grab my book, I go sit down, I meditate. I don't think about any of that. Or like when I come home, as soon as I come home, I take my wallet, my keys, my sunglasses, and I put them in their spot. I don't even think about that anymore. They go in that same spot every single day. Not something I think about. And I know when I'm leaving, I go grab the same from this exact same spot. It's a routine that I created that I don't even think about. And that's kind of the whole goal. And that's the end, that is the whole goal, to get to that point.
Dylan, you might be able to resonate with this. Brooke, I say that because Dylan has kids.
Oh,
but
I have fur babies.
There you go. Well, I mean, it's just, when I say this, it's different. I don't know if you tell me if this is also true for fur babies.
Okay.
So, my son Jonah, he is 7 now, and ever since he could start, he's starting to become independent. He could put his own clothes on. He could do things for himself. I mean, even really before that, and we were doing things for him. His life, we start out as human beings with routine. I have a 3-month-old right now, and here's his routine. It's eat, play, sleep. That's
They have nap times.
crap, and change their diaper too,
I
right?
know exactly how I'm
Like,
changing my
Man,
routine.
what a life.
So I mean, yeah, and it's just wild. Like, so we are built and designed for routine. And
yeah.
I remember, with my first child, with Jonah, going through that routine, and as he got older, that routine kind of it stayed with him, right? And anytime that if something was off in his morning routine, it ruined the whole day for us because he just naturally like blew up, right? Like transitions from one activity to another, we had to create routine around it. And like with the type of person that he was, we had to tell him like, hey, you got 1 minute, and then we're cleaning up and going on to the next activity. Mm-hmm. Well, if we failed to tell him that 1 minute, it was just we lost control. Like he would get mad, cry, not wanting to do it. But if we told him he got 1 minute, in his head, it gave them time to know, okay, I gotta do what I want to do and finish up. And then when we said, okay, it's time, everything was fine. And it taught me so much about how as people, we were designed to have routine in our life, but we just change it through comfortability or what's easy and things like that. So.
Animals actually are exactly like that, right? Because they know when it's feeding time.
Yeah,
that's their routine. Prince
Harry,
Harry,
you don't give them their food, they probably get mad at you.
Well, they all start. They
come
swarm
at you.
you.
Yeah,
they're like, love me, feed me.
They're yelling at you.
But even when I wake up in the morning and I grab my book and my coffee and I sit down on the couch, Prince Harry, he comes over and he sits next to me. That's his routine.
Yeah.
Or my dog, she has a terrible routine right now where she will not eat her dog food inside the house. We have to go outside with her so she would eat, because that's now her new routine for whatever else it is. So I feel like it's just in all of our nature, maybe.
Yeah, it's our nature to have routines, whether you recognize it or not.
So I'm comparing our audience to dogs.
Yeah, dogs and babies. And you just have to decide, are the routines that you have in your life, are they having a positive impact on you, or are they having a negative impact on your life? Even the routines that that are comfortable and easy, they could be negatively impacting your mindset of not being where you want to be. And you might get like sad or depressed about it and want to make a change, but it's hard because it's hard. Mm-hmm. You don't want to change your routine. Mm-hmm. But I want to challenge everybody listening that to think about your daily routine. Because if you think about, my wife always make fun of me. Like, she's like, you're just a creature of habit. And my habits will change every once in a while. Yeah. And as soon as I start something, she already knows before I do. She's like, well, you're going to be doing that for a long time now. And I go, oh, no, I won't. And sure enough, I can't break it. I just start doing the same thing over and over again. But we're creatures of habit. And so you got to recognize what's the impact
right
of what you're doing. So
mic drop.
Love it.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
No.
Just make good routines. But I just love routines. So anybody wants to reach out or anything like that, like, I'm happy to talk. And
hey, the first thing that we do when you join the brokerage that we're all with,
Bricks
right here behind us.
We only have it about 17 times on this.
Right. The Brick by Bricks podcast.
Oh, that too.
That too. Yeah, the title. The first thing we do is we start with trying to get you guys into a good routine.
Yes.
We figure out your why, your purpose, and start setting goals. Then we do a 30, 60, 90 plan where it's a step-by-step. Let's get you into the right routine.
It has daily and weekly activities.
Yes.
So, love it.
Are we playing a game today? Are you prepared? Okay, sweet. Yeah, that's fine. I wonder if... Oh, yeah.
Fancy moving the mics over.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm just not very tall.
You look like you're struggling a little bit.
That's good. This one is moving, so I'm going to share with you, Lauren.
Okay. I told him, Casey. Actually,
Yes.
I didn't tell them.
Okay. First, we're playing Would You Rather, everyone.
Casey walked in.
Featuring
our
Lauren Down.
fabulous editor. You matched Curtis today. Exactly. That's a little weird.
You guys should all. I mean, anyone who wants to match me on. If anyone wants to match me on Thursday, you should be able to know because every podcast I look the same.
He's
He
got
actually never
an
changed his
outfit
face.
dedicated to the podcast.
Okay. Question number 1. Would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button on your life?
A pause.
Pause.
See, I have questions, but
No.
I would do pause because if you can pause for unlimited time, that'd be great.
I could get a lot of shit done if I could have a pause button.
Yeah.
Although,
First,
no,
I
I
would
take it back.
a long nap.
I would do a rewind because as long as
You probably need a rewind.
everything that you did up to the rewind still counts. If that's the case, then you could fix the mistakes that you make and perfect things. You can rewind and take a nap and still count the thing you did before.
Oh,
I
get what
do.
you're
I
saying.
do a rewind as long as the stuff you did counts.
Dylan's over here
Sorry, Lauren.
pondering really
Yeah,
hard.
Here you go.
I'm like, I don't know. I think I'd rather pause it. Just if a lot of chaos is going on, pause.
Yeah,
I'm
just
done with it.
I
don't
can't.
have to keep messing with
I'm
it.
going
fair.
to the beat. I would pause.
But if there's a lot of chaos going on, why can't you just rewind?
Well, I mean, you're gonna
I don't
relive
want
the chaos.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that.
Because
Like,
sometimes you can't control all the things around you. But if I could pause it,
I could pause
But you
it.
can
could
change
control
it.
that.
You can change it.
I guess so.
Well, I mean, I could think about it after I pause for a while.
Yeah, and come
That's
up
fair.
with a brilliant plan of how
I
we
would
can
pause.
Hey, this is the
Take a
contrarian
long
stuff that we
nap.
were talking about before the show.
fix it. He's
I
being
would
the
pause,
contrarian.
take a long nap, and probably take a 3-month beach vacation.
Oh, that'd be
That's a
amazing.
good one.
Actually,
Yeah,
no, I'd be
it's-
bored
it's-
as hell.
I'm gonna pause it.
I'd probably pause too. Okay. Question number 2. Sorry, Curtis.
Loser.
Would you rather be able to talk with animals or speak all foreign languages?
Oh, talk with
Ooh.
animals.
Yeah, I love animals.
100% talk with animals.
No, foreign languages. You guys, this is crazy.
No, this is
But-
why
but you
this
can,
is why
like,
you're our friend. You
can
speak all the
do
language
that
and we'll talk
already.
to animals.
What?
You can do that already. Just go learn the other languages, right? With
That's true.
speaking to animals, you
Oh.
cannot.
That's a
do
great
that.
point.
You
But it,
can't
but
do
Wait,
that.
as long as the animals can't talk back.
No, I'd like them to talk back.
No,
You have to be able to understand.
no.
I'm
Look
Yeah.
at Lauren. Would Doja Cat be happy to? Yeah, no, you wouldn't
yeah,
want her to talk back.
I think that I would rather speak all foreign languages because then you can the value in that is it's crazy amount. You guys need to comment on these questions because I don't want to feel alone every week.
No, make him feel alone. Hey, at least we chose Iron Man.
Oh, God.
I would probably do the.
Iron Man.
That was our bricks ring power too.
I would want to talk to animals because that's just so cool.
I know.
Like,
But I do want them to speak back, even though Doja would seriously probably hurt my feelings. I would want us to be able to communicate.
No, for sure.
She would.
talking
She
to
would.
animals.
She's a bully.
You'd be like, oh, but I
That's
love
my
you.
cat, Doja Cat. She's mean. That's okay.
Hold on. Casey, which one would you do? Oh, thank goodness I got someone who he said foreign languages.
Casey?
That's what I was thinking.
Well, whose team are you on? Have you heard about Bricks Realty?
Really? Yes. Correct mistakes, right?
I'll just recruit one of you guys, and now look, my business just amplified. See what I did there?
There you go.
Okay. I have 2 more. I saved the best for last. So this one is just.
Drum roll.
Would you rather be without elbows or be without knees?
Oh.
100% without elbows. I basically have been without a knee before whenever I destroyed my whole knee, and it's not fun not being able to walk.
Yeah, I agree with you finally on one. I would do without elbows because I just did too much with my legs throughout my life.
Yeah, I'd rather have my knees.
You just
A
have
straw.
T-Rex arms.
A straw. Someone could have a straw, and I can do it.
I don't
I'll
like this
be
question.
asking
I
T-Rex.
like my elbows and my knees.
That's another good point.
Well, ask
Casey
how
said, "How would
T-Rexes
you eat?
did it.
A T-Rex, like this.
Use your mouth."
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would do.
You get really good at using your feet too. For things.
Yup.
But I don't know. I mean, a wheelchair you can move around with your elbows when you don't have.
No,
knees
I
working.
think just because I have been without my knee before.
Have you ever been without your elbows?
Well, I mean, technically, If you were just without your elbow, like your arm is still long, it's just lost a few inches.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
your
it'd be
legs-
harder to eat, but
you just walk
You
funny.
could get really good at tossing food.
Oh, like
We
that
should
one
do that
time,
in the
like,
next one.
like that
You,
one
like,
time.
lock out your elbows.
I
and,
think
like,
I would
toss
still
food in
do
your
without
mouth.
elbows. Without elbows. But although Casey brings up a good point, and it's very close.
That reminds me of the time when we were in Florida and we were doing the popcorn
Oh, I
challenge.
have that video.
And we were throwing it up, tossing it, seeing who could catch most popcorn in her mouth.
Okay.
Wait, what was yours?
I can't decide.
Yeah,
have
but you
to.
gotta pick
No,
one.
I like my knees and my elbows.
Well, just pick.
Well, I like both too.
I think I like them equally.
Well,
What's the? You said whatever that word was at the beginning. I'm the other person where I like everything.
okay. We're gonna go ahead and say that she said her elbows.
That works.
elbows.
But I still like my elbows.
Well, yeah. You can still like them. Yeah. It's all hypothetical.
You do
you
have
know?
nice elbows. I do touch your weenus a lot.
I mean, yes, he does. Bet.
What's the point of that?
Yeah,
I can do
why?
both.
Why would you want?
Okay.
What he just said. What did he tell everyone?
No.
Something about licking knees. I don't know.
You can't lick your elbow, but you can lick your knee.
Nobody's licking anything.
Well, I don't know. Anyways,
How many
this is
licks
getting
does it
really
take
weird.
to
People
lick
have
your-
already unsubscribed.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, last one, everybody. I think this is a good one.
Okay.
Would you rather cut your own eyelids off with scissors or pull each of your teeth out with a wrench?
What the? I almost said the bad word again that you were gonna have to bleep out, but it was worth it. Like, I
Cut.
can't-
You said cut my eyelids.
This-
Would
is
you
some,
rather
like-
cut your own eyelids off with scissors or pull each of your teeth out with a wrench?
Are we on Saw, the movie?
Yeah, that one I don't even know if I can choose
You're-
because they both sound miserably.
Wait, your eyelids. What was the other
Painful.
one?
I know. The other one is pull your teeth out with a wrench. I
Oh,
would do
yes.
the eyelids thing because your teeth. I mean,
There's
that's,
a lot
that's
of teeth.
That's like 30. How many teeth?
Yeah,
do
I
we
was
have?
gonna say, are they doing?
Just
So
two?
they're
I
having to
just
do
gotta-
one teeth at a time.
And then you're
one tooth?
missing teeth.
No, it's the.
You don't
the-
go blind, right? You just cut your eyelid part.
Yeah, just cut
No,
my eyelids.
I
yeah, I'd
think
do
I-
my eyelids.
No,
my
I'd pull
eyelids.
my teeth out.
Your teeth,
No,
your
no,
teeth,
no,
you'd
no,
be
no.
gone. You'd be gone permanently.
No.
You can't
No,
put
that's
those
fine.
back.
That's-
I get dentures.
And then how hard it is each time.
the torture is much longer.
I don't
Yeah,
know. My
yeah.
It's
that's-
a longer process.
and
I don't
the
care.
eyelid,
Each tooth.
the eyelid,
I
I
don't
put
care.
contacts in and stuff. I
You
got
got to think long term, guys.
I could throw on
You
an
gotta
eye
think long term.
patch.
You would never be able to blink your eyeball ever again, so your eye will
No,
just
you can.
dry
You
up.
can put your eyelids back on.
No, you can't. You cut them off.
Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, you either cut them off or you pull your teeth out.
They cut your eyelids out when they do LASIK, and then they put them back on.
No,
They
your
do?
eyelid that closes when you blink. That's what she's talking about.
That's what you're talking about. So I can't blink; they just get dry. I
Exactly.
would carry.
No, F that. I just take all my teeth out. It's a lot more pain, but I can get
I don't like
dentures
it,
after.
but I still would do eyelids.
I think.
I like
yeah.
my eyelids, my teeth, my elbows, and my knees. I've decided.
Everybody loves everything about themselves. Look at that. We love that.
Well, not being conceited.
Yeah, the
I'm just saying.
No, in a
eyelids
good way.
is the one that I'm going with because I would rock an eye patch everywhere I go, looking like.
You'd have to have
Yeah,
two.
Or I could have to them. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
You'd be a cool blind man with a cool stick.
Hell yeah.
I just wanted to hear you guys' answers. That one was like, I looked up some and they were like really, really gross. And I was like, I'm not going to ask these. Some of them were scary. Yeah.
Oh, well, that was scary enough. I choose
Thanks
Iron
for having
Man.
me, guys.
Wait, can I throw one out there real quick? Just a random one.
You better hurry because
Okay,
I
I'll
gotta
be
go
quick.
to inspections.
Okay, would you rather be in a cage with a gorilla or a bear?
Oh, a gorilla.
What kind of bear?
I guess that's a good question.
Oh,
Because
We'll say
grizzly
like a
bears are bad,
grizzly.
but black bears are
no,
nice.
a big grizzly bear.
Grizzly bear. I would do a gorilla.
Big grizzly bear. I mean, the
a
one
gorilla.
that's just
Him and
gonna
I would be
destroy you.
homies.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think you have
I
a better
teach him how to
chance
fist
of
bump.
connecting to the gorilla somehow, some way, and understanding each other over a grizzly would have no.
They'll just eat
They
you
would-
so they
they
can
would kill you.
hibernate in the
and
cave.
one
that you're in.
little swipe, you're done.
You know those big circus bears? Like that'd be kind of cool to hang out with one of those.
But you just said a grizzly. They're not. If it's a wild grizzly or a wild gorilla,
Well, we didn't say it
I'm
was
choosing
wild or
gorilla.
not.
well, I'm assuming that that's what it means.
That's
If they're
probably
trained, then it don't matter. All right, thanks everybody. Click comment, subscribe, and agree with me in the comments. on
Don't
what
Follow
you
us
rather.
on
Never agree with
YouTube,
Curtis.
Podbean, Spotify.
And if you agree with Curtis, I will find you.
Gotta
we go.
jump in, gotta start climbing,